Hello YouTube, I'm Dean with Dean's Woodworking. Hope all of you guys are safe and healthy out there. Just in the shop tonight wanting to turn a few tea light holders and thought I would share with you folks how I do that. Let me give you a quick look at exactly what I'm going to be doing tonight, and I'll pick out a couple of these in turn and just show you exactly what I do, okay? Now these are the little holders that I'm talking about, and they're nothing fancy. Real simple, real quick to turn. They make great gifts, and as well as if you're doing craft shows or something like that, folks do love them. And if you're looking at these, you'll notice that there's really nothing fancy about any one of those. And where did I get the designs from? Really just simply looking at shapes in our environment and some pottery and actually some tea light holders that I've seen manufactured. And by tea light, folks, what I'm talking about is these little candles right here. And they come in varying heights. This is just a little short white one. You can get them in different colors. This one's a little bit taller. They also come in different colored lights, as well as a little different design for the tip. So I just wanted to give you guys a quick look at exactly what we're doing. And probably tonight I'll try to make one similar to that one right there on the end. And we may try to make one like that. And then as a third choice, you know what, we'll come back to this other end here and possibly do something similar to that. Okay? With that said, let's go ahead and get started. And everything that you're seeing here, and this is part of a series that I am doing, is what can you make from a limb? And so many turners that I've talked to have said they would do a whole lot more turning and spend a whole lot more time in the shop if wood wasn't so expensive. Well, this is not something you have to go down to the local supplier and purchase. This is literally what you would trim off your trees, or your neighbors are trimming off their trees, and even if you don't have anything to trim off yours or the neighbors, I'm sure you can find a tree service locally and they'll be glad to give you all you want to haul off. So with that said, let me grab my face shield. I try to make it a point of wearing at least a face shield. I normally wear a Trend Air Shield in the shop, especially if I'm doing any dry wood, and then that protects my face and my lungs. Just the other day I was doing a demo and a piece of wood had some ring shake in it and I didn't see it. And no sooner than I had turned the lathe on, a piece popped up, and fortunately it went the other direction, so it didn't come near me. But it could just have easily flown towards me as it could have away from me. So can't stress how important it is to stay safe. We'll go ahead and turn this on. And you'll notice that when I turn the lathe on, it's going real slow. If you're using a variable speed lathe, you put something in it, start it off slow, and then bring it up to speed. And all I'm going to do at this point is just take this spindle roughing gouge, and we're just going to get this thing round. Okay? Nothing, we're not trying to get a shape or anything. We're just getting it round so that we can put a tenon on it and mount it in the chuck. I've already prepared a couple of other pieces that we can put in the chuck. So once we get this one done, we can transition from this to the other pieces pretty easily. I'll give you guys an overhead view there. I'm just going to take a skew and come in and do just a peel cut. And let's see where we're at here. I've got a set of, just to show us exactly. And let's just see that. Yes, that's right where we want to be. And so with that done, I'll go ahead and take this out of the lathe. And you'll notice I'm turning between centers. The 4-prong drive center is just caught in my, attached in my chuck. This is nothing special. It's just a 4-prong drive center, and I use it in the chuck. I'm not saying that's the right way to do it. I'm not saying that's the wrong way to do it. It's the way I do it. Okay? Now let's go ahead and we'll put a turning blank in here. I just want to make sure we've got that good and snug. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take a 1 3/8 inch Forstner bit, and we're going to drill this out to accept the candle. So you'll find most of the candles are actually about 1 1/4 inches. The problem is, if the wood moves at all and you drill it at 1 1/4 inches, it's going to get tight on you, and this will freeze up in there. You won't be able to get it out, or if you don't leave it in there, you won't be able to get one in. So what I'm going to do is just hold this up here. And looking at that, I need to go about 3/16 past this into that blank to be able to seat that candle at the depth I want to seat it at. So here we go. And we're just going to go slow. We're not in a big hurry. No rush. You see a little steam there. It's this happens to be wet wood that I'm using, so you'll get quite a bit of steam, and that's not smoke, folks, it's steam. Well, I guess it could be smoke, but there's so much water in that wood, I don't know that you're going to get too much smoke. Okay, so we'll call that good. And we'll just slide the tailstock back just a little bit. And so for this first one, let's go ahead and we'll shoot for something like this on the first one, okay? So I'm going to bring it down a little bit. I'm going to be using a 1/2 inch bowl gouge here. I'm going to go ahead and turn my speed up just a little bit. We're going to bring the size down a little bit. And put just a little bit of cove right here in the top of this. Once we've got the cove in here, then we'll just start to bring this down. We're going to put that curve in it. And as you guys are watching me do this, you'll realize this is real time. So it doesn't take long to do these. Again, I'm just wasting some wood away here. Just going to make a smooth cut right in there, right in that bevel. Okay, so once we get down to about right there, I'm going to waste just a little bit more of this away. Give ourselves just a little bit of room here. I'm going to come in with a parting tool right in here. Just so we can see exactly where we're at there. Come in with a spindle gouge. I believe this is a 3/8 spindle gouge. And just come right into there. And we're just going to make a little bead on this bottom here. Okay. And then if you'd like, you can come in with a texturing tool, and we'll just put a little bit of texturing right in on this surface right here in that cove. Another thing that you can do is we'll come in and just put us a couple of lines right here, one there and one right there. And then I've got a burning tool. Basically, it is a piece of guitar string between two sticks. Don't ever try to wrap this around your finger or hold it in your finger. And if I just pull that right into those little grooves that I made with the skew, I can put a couple of burn marks up here. I can come down here, put another burn mark, and at that point we are ready to part this one off. Give myself just a little bit of room right there. And folks, there's number one right there. Okay, let's go ahead and set that one to the side and grab another one here. Let's go with this little one right here. It's a little simpler design, but it's basically the same type of design. I'll tell you what, let's go ahead and do that. We got a shorter piece here, so I'm just going to flatten this off. Little catch there. Again, watch those bevels. And we're just going to come right on in here. Even though I like that table there, and I think it helps you guys see a little bit better, it did get in the way. So we paused for a moment and took that out. And we'll slow this down for the drilling. We don't need to be drilling quite that fast. And again, we're going to get our share of steam as this is drilling. And you don't want to get it too hot. because that steam will cause that wood, as it heats up, it will cause some stress fractures there and cause it to crack a little bit. So let's go ahead and run the lathe speed on up a little bit. Bring you guys back in from above so y'all can see exactly what I'm doing. Again, we're just going to run a little cove on this one. You decide exactly how much cove you want, what size you want it to be. And with this one, we'll go ahead and put just a little bit of texturing in there as well. Hopefully you guys can see that well. Let me give you guys just a little closer view of that right there. I want to show you this texturing tool as well. It's just a little carbide ball in there with cutting teeth on it. This is one I made myself. You can purchase these, but I made this one myself with some pipe and little lubricated bearings in there, and then you just buy the Dremel tool as the texturing part. So with that done, normally I would go ahead and sand that just a little bit, but in the interest of speed and to show you guys more than a couple of these, I'm just going to go ahead and part this one off. Let's slow that down just a little bit. We don't need to be parting it off at quite that fast a speed. And once again, we have another one knocked out in just a few minutes, and all that really needs is just to dry out and sand off the bottom just a little bit, and it's ready to go. So we'll set it over here with this one. And let's go ahead and we'll do just a simple barrel shape like this. Hope you guys are enjoying what you're seeing. We'll put another, here we go. Let's try this one. So this one will be actually a little bit easier, and I'll show you what we're doing there. Let's see, I'm going to face that off just a little bit there. Give you guys a better view. You can tell that it's not even on that end. So I'm just going to speed it up just a little bit. Take my skew and just kind of come up. As I come in, I'm raising the handle up and pushing straight in. And that'll give you a straight slice across there, and it'll be pretty flat. Okay, so again, I don't think we need to be turning quite that fast for drilling this. Let's go ahead and come right in, and you can see the steam coming off of that. So we're going to just basically make it a slow process. Again, I don't know if I told you guys, but this is an 1 3/8 Forstner bit. Most of those little tea light candles are going to come in at 1 1/4. But especially like with this being green wood, I know when it dries it's going to shrink a little bit. So I want to make sure that I am giving myself a little bit of room so that I don't end up with a tea light holder that I can't use. Let's see here. Let's go ahead and speed the lathe back up. And this time I'll just take the skew. We'll come in. Hopefully you guys can see exactly what I'm doing there. I'm going to go ahead and do some peeling cuts to get this down here. The nice thing about using a skew like that is it just smooths that out. You just almost can't sand it any smoother. And all I'm doing is just rolling that around there so we just don't have just a flat across edge. And then I'm going to come in and I'm going to put 3 lines on it. And one thing about putting 3 lines on them like that and doing a burn is you've got to be fairly careful, because if you put 2 lines, then you don't have to worry about the spacing. Whatever you've got is exactly right. But when you put 3 lines, now you have 2 spaces to compare to. So it makes it a little bit more important that you get it exactly spaced correctly. Now, I will tell you that those are not measured. And when I am doing them, not just for a demo, I don't measure them then either. If you are the type of person that wants it perfect, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that, then you might want to measure them. And when I bring this parting tool in, I'm bringing it in at just a little bit of an angle so that the bottom of that is recessed just a bit. And again, I'm going to go ahead and part this right off. You will notice that there's a little bit of a nub right there. I don't know if you guys can see that very well. Hopefully if I bring it back over this way. See that little nub there? It doesn't take much to cut that nub off. Okay? I don't recommend using a skew chisel to do it. But I did it just so you could realize that, especially with wet wood and something that small, it just doesn't take much to knock it off of there. Now, let's go ahead and turn back around. Well, one thing. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that. Picked up something, because you can make these in a real big hurry. And they make great gifts. Make a couple, take them into your wife and see what she says about them. I have yet to show a lady these yet that they didn't get a little bit excited about them. And that's one of the reasons why I wanted to share it with you folks. So let me go back over here to the originals that we had. And obviously one of the originals I buried there. But I just wanted to share with you guys what we did here. And of course, that was the original. That's the one we just did. A little bit of difference, not a whole lot. You can see that the tea light sits right down in there. We went from that one to this one right here. Again, just a little bit bigger. But unless you've got them side by side, it doesn't matter. And then the last one we did, and I made that for a little deeper candle, so I put the taller candle in there so you guys could see. And when you turn these on, makes a pretty neat little presentation. And typically, I just finish them with a Danish oil or a friction polish, something real quick on the lathe. And literally, within just a few minutes, you can take just a common everyday limb, make something that somebody will be very happy to have. If you like what I'm showing you and you enjoyed the content I'm putting out, please go in there and like it and subscribe to it. But most of all, if you enjoyed it and you're making some, please share with me. Let me know you're making some. And I'd really appreciate seeing some photographs of what you made. I've been truly blessed. I made a video on how to turn a cross on a lathe a couple of years ago, and fortunately a lot of folks have seen that, and I have received pictures of crosses from all over the world. And that's something I truly enjoy, is sharing my knowledge and hopefully helping you folks out. That's why I do this. I enjoy teaching. And the whole purpose of this is to educate you, entertain you, and hopefully motivate you to get back out in your shop and do something. So turn off the TV and the computer, go out in your shop and turn something. With that said, stay safe, stay healthy, happy turning.